And they're my friends. My parents, as well as my brothers, are friends. And I think they're a very creative family. And I think being brought up in a situation where music is there, people are being creative, it feels natural for you to do that too. So I think that was a very big opening for me at a very young age, to have that kind of energy around me, and in fact the energy that I'm in now. And I think they have been a very big influence on me. When I was very little, it was their music that I used to listen to before I got my own record player and then could play my own music. And I think older brothers, sisters can't help but be an incredible influence.
So, look, when you were younger, you were much, like, closer with your family than with people outside. I mean, were you a shy person to people outside your family?
Yes, I think so. I think I'm still quite shy. It depends on the situation, but I can be very shy with people. But I think it just depends on the situation and the person.
Okay. And so, do you feel you're a reclusive person or a social person?
I think I'm really fighting between the two. I think there's a side of me that really loves being social and really loves being with people. And there's another side of me that doesn't, that finds, for instance, most of my creative work I couldn't do with people around. I couldn't write a song with someone else in the same room. It's a very private process for me. I think I probably got a bit better about it. I mean, when I first used to start writing, even if someone walked in, it would just completely blow my concentration. And at least now I can keep it going, maybe if there's one person in the room. But yes, I think there's a strange struggle in there between those two areas for me.
What records did you like when you were younger? Like when you said, you know, until I got my own record player and I had my own music.
Yes.
What was that?
Well, I used to listen to a lot of singles that my brothers had bought that, you know, weren't out when I was there. Songs from the early 60s that actually I wouldn't have heard had it not been for their collection. And I suppose I started buying all the singles that were out. I was very single-orientated.
Like
all the hits.
Yeah, like any that you can remember that you still have now?
Well, one of the first records I ever bought was called They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha, by Napoleon XIV. I thought that was great. I thought it was really interesting. I suppose it was one of the first rap records, really. And I think the first album I bought was Bridge Over Troubled Water. I like the songs on that. And I think, again, that's been a big attraction for me. I'm sure stimulated by traditional music. The thing of the structure of songs and having a story, it does attract me.
Right, now you're saying there's 2 minutes left on this tape, or what? So maybe we can...
Awfully dark out there.
Good. Well, what's it look like?
Here it is right there. Steadily changed.
Well, we won't jump cut too much.
Okay.
That'll look weird if you jump cut too much towards the end and be dark in the back. It would drive people crazy. I sort of like that, though. Careful.
You could have completely different weather in every scene.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. We should sometime. You could probably do that with filters or something. Or just,
have it snowing.
or just,
and then
you could just do it in the studio.
in brilliant sunshine.
That's great.
It'd be really good, wouldn't it?
That's great. Sat in your lab, like, could you... That seems to be about, like, knowledge and not getting it or not knowing that you've got it. I mean, is that...
Yeah, it is. Search for knowledge. And I suppose the thing of people who...
Okay, well, because you said, like, sat in your lab, that's about the search for knowledge. Let's say something like that. Say the title and then what's
Yeah.
that?
Yes, sat in your lap. It's very much a search for knowledge. And about the kind of people who really want to have knowledge but can't be bothered to do the things that they should in order to get it. So they're sitting there saying how nice it would be to have this or to do that without even really desiring to do the things it takes you to get there. And also the whole thing of the more you learn, the more ignorant you realise you are, and that you get over one wall to find an even bigger one. And
how about the video? Is that like on? Is that on ice? The video or what?
no, it's roller skates.
Uh-huh.
That was a lot of fun. I don't think we felt it was a serious video. You know, it's meant to be fun, and we thought the roller skates needed an airing.
Okay, how about Suspended in Gaffo? Like, what's the song about? And then I'll ask you what the video's about first, the song.
Suspended in Gaffo is, I suppose, similar in some ways to Sat in Your Lap. The idea of someone seeking something, wanting something. I was brought up as a Roman Catholic and had the imagery of purgatory and of the idea that when you were taken there, that you would be given a glimpse of God, and then you wouldn't see him again until you were let into heaven. And we were told that in hell it was even worse because you got to see God, but then you knew that you'd never see him again. And it's sort of using that as the parallel, and the idea of seeing something incredibly beautiful, having a religious experience and such, but not being able to get back there. And it was playing musically with the idea of the verses being sort of real time and someone happily jumping through life, and then you hit the chorus and it's like everything suddenly goes into slow-mo and they're reaching for that thing that they want and they can't get there.
Mm-hmm. and is it the video you feel a dance interpretation of that?
Well, that video and the one that went with There Goes the Tenor, quite honestly, were rushed. There was very little time to do them. I had to do 3 videos in something like 2 months. And I don't really think that if we'd had more time, that we would have done that.
So what takes the most time for you, like the ideas or the execution?
I'm sorry?
What takes the most time for you? Is it the ideas, or is it the execution? Like, is it making the video or coming up with what you think is a really good idea?
It does depend on what you're doing. But I think the ideas are probably the most time-consuming thing. Because if you can have as much organised before you go into shooting, then it's going to be that much quicker and that much more efficient.
Okay, and I guess finally, could you just tell us about your one performance in America?
Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, that one.
It was a lot of fun. It was really good. I was asked to come over here by Eric Idle from Monty Python, who was hosting the show. And it was a great honour for me. And a real pleasure to do. Complete madness.
Oh yeah? What did you do? What song?
I did A Man with a Child in His Eyes and Them Heavy People. That was a while ago now. That was 79.
That's right. That's a long time ago already.
Hmm.
What about Wuthering Heights? What inspired you to write that? Sounds like an obvious question, but maybe it's not an obvious answer. I don't know.
I think it is an obvious answer. It was very much the book. The idea of a relationship where even when one of them is dead, you know, they will not leave the other one alone. I found that fascinating. Not unlike the energy behind the Houdini song that we did, where the strength of love, I mean, it's incredibly romantic, but a very nice story, and the sense of how, even when she's dead, you know, she has to come back for him. Possessive lady.
Have you ever been in love in that way or that much?
Yes, I think love affects you in a funny way, and I think everyone loves something or someone. So I think everyone understands, at least on some level, the experiences. I wouldn't say I was a terribly possessive or, I mean, I would hate to think that I was like Kathy, but I think everyone certainly has shadows or, you know, little tinges of those things in them.
Okay. I think that's about it. We should probably just shoot like a couple of cutaways, at which point I'll probably think of a few other questions. That's where it always goes.
Okay, great.